Next up in Fantasy Football 2013, we'll take a look at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are one of the teams like the Falcons or the Saints or the Green Bay Packers that throughout their lineup have a tremendous amount of fantasy football value. At the quarterback spot, you have Peyton Manning. Manning falls into the top 3-4 quarterbacks from a fantasy perspective. Depends on what you believe about someone like Cam Newton or Tom Brady, and he falls right in that category. Threw for well over 4,000 yards, threw over 30 touchdowns. Just a terrific quarterback that is available to you probably in round 4 or 5, closer to 5 often, as far as a fantasy value for you. At running back, the Broncos have it's going to be a running back by position, or by a committee approach. They're going to have both Ronnie Hillman and Monte Ball be the running backs for them. Hillman has a tremendous value, especially in point per reception leagues. He's going to catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. The Broncos also drafted Monte Ball out of Wisconsin, and he'll be a running back that a lot of people think may not start the season, but may be the starter by the end of the season. In addition, he'll be a goal line back, and it wouldn't be out of the question for him to score 9-10 touchdowns next year. So Hillman isn't going very high, so that's a guy you could certainly take a flyer on as far as your running backs go. Ball is probably going in round 5 or 6. A lot of people just think he's going to be a terrific pro. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that, although the Broncos have certainly been teams historically that have made a lot of great running backs better. We'll see how that plays out. But Ball again around 5-6, and Hillman probably around 9-10 is where they've been taken. At the wide receiver spot, the Broncos have Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker. Of course, they picked up Wes Welker in the offseason from the Patriots as well. All three, of course, will be drafted. Thomas falls into that top 6-7 wide receivers in the league. Big, fast, he can catch the ball in traffic, he's a deep threat. A lot of people like him as one of the top even 4 wide receivers, and he usually goes in around 4 or 5, right after the Dez Bryant and Larry Fitzgerald type wide receivers. Eric Decker, a lot of people don't have a lot of love for, and I'm not really sure why. Decker had a terrific year last year. I had him in a couple of different leagues. He, of course, scored a lot of touchdowns, and I think that's where people think he doesn't have as much fantasy value, is that he just can't catch another double-figure touchdown number this year. I think he can. I think Thomas is going to be great as well. Decker would be a steal in round 6 or round 7. And so look for him, again, have another 1,000-yard season, and maybe not 12 touchdowns or so, but 9-10 is not out of the realm of possibility. Wes Welker is kind of an opposite look. Welker will probably catch 80 to 85 passes this year. He'll catch a couple of touchdowns, but I'm looking for him to have more of like the 4 or 5 range. He might have somewhere around 1,000 yards receiving. So when you look at Wes Welker, I think a lot of people are still looking at him as a guy who's going to catch 115, 16 passes, and that's just not going to happen. As such, when people take him in around 8 or 9, it's probably too high for Wes Welker. If you can get him in 10, you've got a great steal. Tight ends are Jacob Tamme and Joel Dreesen. Neither one are amazing, but they've had their values during the year. Like a lot of other tight ends, again, they're not going to be drafted, but take a look at them during the season for specific matchups. Broncos defense, going to be interesting. A lot of people put them in the top 3. They have a great return game with Holiday. They have Von Miller and make a lot of sacks. They intercept some passes because they put so much pressure on the quarterback. But with Von Miller potentially out for 4 weeks, you got to be a little bit more cautious with the Broncos. Definitely a top 5 defense. Whether they are 3 or 5 might really depend more on, again, whether Von Miller's appeal of his suspension goes through and he is allowed to play. Otherwise, he misses the first 4 games of the season. And then the kicker is Matt Prater. Prater goes in that third, fourth best kicker. He's got a strong leg. He's pretty accurate from distance. The Broncos attempt a lot of field goals. They're going to score a ton of points. So again, for the Broncos as a whole, you've got Peyton Manning, who will go in round 4, maybe early 5 at the latest. You've got Monte Ball and Ronnie Hillman, both draftable. Ball expected to go earlier because they think a lot of people think he's going to carry the ball on the goal line. I'm not a huge fan of that, but Ball probably in around 6, 7. Hillman will be around in like 12 or 13. As far as the wide receivers, you've got Thomas, Decker, Welker. Thomas will go in that 3-4 range as far as round goes as well. Decker's more in that 5, 6, 7 range. Welker goes 7, 8 in that range. Neither tight end you really need to worry about drafting. The Broncos defense is the third best fantasy defense special teams out there, and Prater certainly is a top 5 kicker for you.